I forgot the other part of the intro. Oh dear. Sorry about that.
Going, I can't work with amateurs. Can't work with amateurs.
Never mind. It is what it is. Yeah, that was a totally unprofessional moment. I started going to the chat and I forgot to do it. So I do apologise, people. I do apologise. Anyway, let's talk about this. Steve, thank you, mate, for coming on, as always. And Kyle, thank you, mate. I saw you.
Big up, Jace.
I saw you last night on Del Boys show with Static and Manny and all that.
Yeah.
So, Yeti, thank you, mate, for coming on. You'll give your honest opinion, as you always do.
Anytime, my dude. Anytime.
Yeah, mate. Hang on, let me just turn this off. Yeah, I think I'm getting an echo on it. Hang on, let's get rid of this.
I think it's on in the background for somebody.
Is it gone?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this. I don't know why it does it. No, it's come back. It's come back. Anyway, Kyle, I'll start with you, mate. I just don't like, mate. I just don't like this bloody starting lineup. It's just pony to me. Oh, he's gone. That was that. Kyle,
the daughter was sorry, Jace. The daughter was ringing me there. That's unbelievable. Anyway, go ahead, Jace.
There you go. Yeah.
Why is he tinkering at this stage of the season, right? With, that you don't do that. You do that in pre-season, surely.
Jace, it's so frustrating. Why is it that? Why are we like you just said? Why are we the second game into the season and we still don't know our best 11? Or is it that he's actually doing this because of Kai Havertz? Is he playing a new system to fit Havertz into the team? Because he's had to spend these 65 million. And he's so arrogant, he doesn't want to be caught out on his arrogance. It's frustrating, Jason, when you see the team lined up against Forest and you see it again last night. And players playing out position, Gabriel on the bench. And then there's reports about Gabriel going to Saudi Arabia, going to Real Madrid. Like, it's not good, Jace. It's not good. And this is down to Arteta once again. It's his arrogance. And his arrogance is going to cost us the Premier League again. And people say that I'm negative and I come across negative and all. But it's because I want my club to win a Premier League. It's 20 years since we won a Premier League title. And I'm looking at those the first two games of this season, Jace. And what I'm seeing, they're not a Premier League Championship side. I'm looking at the moment, all I'm listening in the fan base, I'm listening about why is Partey playing right back? Why is Gabriel sitting on the bench? What's the story with the left back position? What's the story with midfield? We have no strikers. So there's problems. For a championship winning team, there should be no problems. The players should come in and fit into their positions, and that's it. I saw it in 89, I saw it in 91, I saw it in 2002, I saw it in 2004. I don't see it in this team. So, and I think Arteta is a serious problem. And it's his arrogance once again. So, I wasn't happy with the lineup last night. I wasn't happy with the lineup against Forest. Yes, people will say that we got 3 points in each game. Yeah, of course. And it's great that we got 3 points. But when we come up against a bit of quality, Jays, I'm going over to the Man United game there in 2 weeks' time. If we play like that, and I know Man United are not too good themselves, but they won't be afraid of Arsenal. I'll tell you that with the way we're playing. So I'm disappointed, Jace. I'm disappointed, man. I'm sorry. I'm coming across negative, but I don't think there's anything positive. I don't think there's anything to be worth shouting about at the moment. Maybe I'll be proved wrong.
Totally agree, man. Totally agree. And this comment here, Andy says, Jez, why are top goons calling you a dinosaur and a paid actor? Well, they obviously know nothing about football, and
They're robots. They
Because they're
repeat the same
morons.
catchphrases. They repeat the same buzzwords. They repeat the same behaviors. They're predictable. Their behavior and their thoughts and opinions are so manufactured and so fake that you can smell it from a mile away. That's why people are talking crap about someone like Jazz.
Yeah,
well,
100%.
fact remains is they're not top gooners. If they actually knew what a gooner was, they'd never call themselves a gooner.
Yeah, they don't. They're not about that life. They're not about that life.
They'd have had their heads kicked in if you called
Yeah.
yourself a gooner if you were. But anyway, look, I don't care. I really don't care what people think about me. If they want to like call me dinosaur, I don't care. At the end of the day, I know about Arsenal Football Club a damn sight more than they do, than they will ever do. So it really doesn't bother me, man. Anyway, Yeti, I'm going to come to you.
Yep.
I know we had a little bit of a discussion about it. What is it with Arteta he's trying to
Smack my
achieve?
nose on thing.
Why would you want to tinker with something that ain't broken? You know what I mean?
Because he's an absolute twat and a fraud.
Well, there you go.
Rick said it.
Don't say it any other
I
way,
think someone
really.
on this panel put it best. Prick settings.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, for me, he's trying to do a jigsaw from the middle to the outwards, where it just makes no sense because he's just making so many mistakes. And the thing is, for me, I noticed last night. I don't know if you guys noticed. I noticed it a bit in the Forest game. It wasn't as noticeable in the Forest game. They're not passing to him. I noticed a few times he got into the pocket just outside the box and he was asking for the ball off Odegaard and he didn't give it him. And another one that was more noticeable for me was he was right at the side of him in the centre circle. And instead he did this like curl ball round to Tomiyasu. Now that could have got intercepted and caused an issue. So why not just give it to Havertz and then let Havertz give it to Tomiyasu? That's hurting your team. That is. Them tactics are hurting your team. And if you want my honest opinion, if you've got to play him, then play him up front. And the reason I say that is because you can use the same midfield as you used last season, which is tried and tested, and you can build up and you can score from the wings. You can score from Odegaard from the centre. That useless twat can just stay up there in the box and hopefully get on the end of something. But at least if you've got him in the midfield and you've got Nketiah up front, you're stifling yourself twice.
I totally agree, man. I totally agree. It's only 2 games in and I'm already frustrated. So God knows what it's going to be like by Christmas when we've been in the Champions League. Steve, we had a quick chat before we went live. Newcastle, they're looking decent. Got away with it the other day. You didn't get your asses wiped. I think Newcastle, they're looking okay. I think you need a couple more players just to bolster it. But fair play to them. Why do you think, Steve, that Arteta is piss-arsing about with this starting lineup? I just don't understand it myself.
I think he's trying to reinvent the wheel. That's what he's trying to do. I think he makes everything so much more complicated than it needs to be. I think he thinks he's Pep or something. Like in terms of, I'm going to create new formations, new tactics, new roles. I'm going to bench someone that no one thought that I would bench, like Pep does with De Bruyne sometimes or whatever. I think he's trying to be someone that he's just not.
Yeah.
I think he should just be himself. Maybe that is himself, but either way, I don't think it's going to work out long term. And this is why I keep saying he needs to go and take the Vincent Kompany route or the Eddie Howe route. Go to a smaller club, not in the spotlight of big bad Arsenal, and work on your craft. Because at Anderlecht, Bournemouth, I don't know, AEK Athens, Sevilla, one of those, you know what I'm saying? Or even like a mid-table like Getafe. I don't know. Be all on you. Guess what? You have limited resources. If a player you have a set roster, and yeah, you can go and get transfers, but you can't just go get whoever you want. You have to work with what you have for the most part. If you're not at an Arsenal or whoever, right? Again, there is some flexibility, but guess what that means? You would have to sell players like AC Milan did, right? They sold Tonali because they wanted to upgrade their squad. They brought in a bunch of players for one cornerstone key player of their team. If Arteta did that with the soccer or something, he'd be screwed. That's why I don't think he takes one of those jobs. Because if you take a Tonali out of AC Milan, a bigger manager can cope with that and recruit correctly. If you guys sold Bukayo Saka and Arteta got to do whatever he wants, I think he would struggle big time. I think he would struggle massively because Saka is more than a key player. He's essentially your attack. That's why I don't think he wants to take a job on the lower end of things, because if he misses out on a crucial player, then it's like then he has to do something about it. I just think he gets way too creative and overthinks it because the fan base and the ownership are like, cool. That's what I think. And I think if he had to go somewhere, battle relegation in La Liga, maybe go for a league title in a league that's a bit off the, maybe not a top 5 league or whatever, then I think he would really struggle because he doesn't have the resources. So he can't faff about and just do whatever he wants. He has to find a winning strategy, and whether it's pretty or not, he needs to do it. He couldn't make these 3-4-3 formations. He couldn't do the inverted right backs when you're trying to battle relegation or whatever. You can't do that crap. So that's what I think. But you know what? Typical last night for you guys, really, in my opinion. The second game in a row where it's like I'm just not impressed. And the thing is, it's fine to grind out results, but that should come later in the year. That should come when everyone's gassed and everyone, the fitness isn't at optimum condition. It's the start of the damn season.
Yeah.
I'll get that. This is a comment. On Davoli, he's trying to involve the squad and trying different things that teams don't figure us out.
That's cool.
I get that. I'm sorry, you're messing up a winning formula.
Yeah, it's not that hard, to be honest. You just put players in the positions they're supposed to play. That's why you buy a player, because you're buying them for the position they're supposed to play. Football ain't that hard, man. You don't have to do all this inverted, perverted shit. It's just absolutely stupid. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you can just see he just hasn't got a clue what his best 11 is or anything. But he's already got a good amount of it. The only thing he's not got is the striker. The rest of them he's got.
Great.
So I don't get it.
I'm sick and tired of fans making football out to be this complicated scientific sport. It's not. Chase, I said to you because you're an Arsenal fan here on the panel with me.
Pre-cum assist.
In 1989, Chase, we could name out the 11 players that scored a player week in, week out. In 1991, we were the same. We could name the first 11. The same with the 2004, the Invincibles. We could name out who was going to be in this position. And they went out on a Saturday or a Sunday, they performed, and they won league titles. Why all of a sudden has that all changed? Because it's all excuses. That's why. Very simple. You have your best players, your best positions. Your job is to go out, perform, get 3 points. You're getting hundreds of thousands of pounds a week to do that. Just go out and do it. Too many excuses. Too many players overhyped. Declan Rice, good player, he's overhyped. I'm going to name out the stuff. I'm not going to sit here and say this and that, these players. Saka is the same. I'm going to call Saka out. Saka hasn't kicked the ball for the last 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And everyone's making him out to be world class. Let me tell you, I saw world class at Arsenal. And Saka is not one of them. Let's get things Let's get things straight here. Let's put things.
100%.
He isn't world class yet. He needs to prove it over a longer.
He has the
He's
potential.
on an upward trajectory, but
he has the potential and he has the upward. You're right, Steve. Both this is the fans calling him world class. That he's Arsenal all on his own. Jesus, if he's Arsenal, if we're relying on Saka to win a Premier League title, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
If you're world class, if Bukayo Saka is world class, what happened last year doesn't happen with Saka, where he goes missing for 2 months.
That's it. You have to
call it. Vinicius Jr., Benzema, Toni Kroos, whoever on Real Madrid that we acknowledge are world class and have been for a while now. Maybe Vinny Jr. is just now in that category. They didn't go missing when they win Champions Leagues or when they won La Liga a few years ago under Zidane. They don't do that. They turn up even through adversity. That's my thing. And
that's thrown around too much, to be honest, that world-class crap is.
Absolutely, yes. It's been used too much. Players overhyped.
Yeah.
And we have players on our current squad that are overhyped. They're not what we think they are. And that's why, in my opinion, this squad of players is not going to win a Premier League title. Once again. And it's acceptable. This is the laughing thing. Fans actually accept it. This will be 20 years old league title. You want to go another 20 years with old league title? Or are we going to up the game? Are we going to raise the standard?
Yeah,
because I'm going to see a certain amount of fans, just a few of us that's shouting for that. And I'm looking at AFTV and all them assholes, and they're all making out this and that. The whole thing is it's a shambles.
Yeah.
And until it changes, we're going to be having the same conversation year in, year out. Because I've had this same conversation for the last 20 years. I'm still saying it. I'm saying it now that I did 20 years ago. I see no change.
To be honest, it must be the easiest club to manage, to be fair. Because, I mean, you've got a load of bell-end fans who just don't get it and just support that manager no matter what he does because he's the best-looking idiot they know. And, you know, that don't work because they should expect more. And if they don't expect more, why are you going to deliver more?
I just want to ask this question, right? And I think we need a striker. And I'll ask this when we're going to get onto another point, right? Right now, at this point of the season, Arsenal could go and buy Ivan Toney. He's a Liverpool fan, admittedly, but he said he's
we all have our issues.
So go and buy him. I think in a week, 10 days or something, he can come back into training. Now is a perfect time because he will come into the squad. He will train with the squad. He'll get to know them. He will be playing practice games at London Colney. Go and get him, man. Go and get him.
100%. That's the final piece.
We need a striker. I mean, Steve,
James, you're not going to win a Premier League title without an out-and-out goal scorer in your squad.
Yep.
And let's face it, we don't have an out-and-out goal scorer. Look at Eddie Nketiah last night. They were relying on people talk about Bellingham. I don't know what's going on with him. He's not the answer. Then we're talking about Havertz. He's definitely not the answer. We spent, and Jesus was coming back from injury. Jesus will score you 10 goals. He's a good hold-up player. He's skillful. He causes a bit of hassle. But he's not a natural goal scorer. We need one in this squad. Why? We spend 65 million on Kai Havertz. Why not go out and spend the big money and bring in the likes of Tony into the squad? What's wrong with us? That's showing ambition. God forgive us for showing ambition. Jesus, lads, give me a break.
Steve, look, you're my go-to man when it comes to players all around Europe, God knows wherever else. I think it's a simple option. Go and buy him. Go and offer Brentford whatever it is they want for him and buy him.
Yeah, I think like an Ivan Toney. My only question is, I want to see what it's like when he comes back, because when you bet against your own team, that isn't something that you can just brush under the carpet. I don't know how I would feel playing with someone or an owner paying someone to do that. And we all know that gambling, people do have real problems with that. Whether Ivan's addressed it, I don't know. So that's my only thing. The footballer, yeah, he's fantastic. Go for someone like a Jonathan David at Lille. That would be my thing. He reminds me of Ivan Toney because he can link up play. He's good in the air. He scores bags and bags of goals. He did for Lille last year. His experience. He's
Tony's prem proven, though, isn't he? Tony's prem proven. I think that'd be the only thing that
was Thierry Henry prem proven. Was Robert Pires prem proven? Was Gilberto Silva prem proven? Yeah. I understand why people say prem proven, but at the same time, the league is built off foreigners. Let's be real.
True. Very true.
Let's be real. I mean, where did Gabriel Jesus come from? From Brazil. Martinelli came from Brazil. Saliba came from France. So I get the prem proven thing, but at the same time, there's obviously tons of talent outside of England. But for me, that's someone like you could go for. I don't even think you need someone amazing, because you guys can get, well, not with this formation. You aren't creating loads of chances. But last year, you were creating loads of chances. You could even have someone like, I don't know, Beto at Udinese, who scored about 14, 15 goals for them last year. Big, strong, hold-up play, good with both feet, simple, good finisher. Even someone like that, just to get on the end of things. A Callum Wilson, dare I say. Like, he scored 18 for us last year. I bet he could do similar numbers at I bet, at Arsenal with all the service and stuff. I'm not saying go out and get Callum Wilson, but I'm saying that you don't need someone incredibly amazing, because I can see, like, okay, you do get the service. There are playmakers and whatever, but it doesn't look like Arteta wants to go down that route, or he wants to give a Fuller and Balogun a chance. But he's giving Nketiah it. Again, that's another player that he's dying by the sword. They're dying on the hill of. And I think that's foolish. I think it's foolish to die on the hill for Havertz. I think it's foolish to die on the hill for Zinchenko. I think it's foolish to die on the hill, maybe not of an Aaron Ramsdale, but that's why Raya comes in. Yeah. I was kind of surprised he didn't play yesterday, to be honest. But
yeah, I was as well, actually.
I don't know. I just feel like Arsenal, they have to figure it out sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I mean, also you got to take into account that if Arteta bought Ivan Toney, Pratt would probably put him in goal.
I don't put it past him. That's the crazy part. I don't put it past him.
Now, I just want to ask this, right? Hang on, let me just get this question up. Question for all of us, right? Nate MB says, do you think Fulham or Sheffield United get a result against Man City without Pep?
Yeah, because he had back surgery, so he's out for 2 games.
No. They're well finely drilled. I don't.
My answer's no.
Yeah,
Man City will beat Fulham.
I wouldn't put any money on either of them.
No way.
I wouldn't. I mean, it's a better chance, I guess, but I thought Newcastle had a little chance because they were missing De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, John Stones, and they still dealt with us relatively comfortably. I thought we defended well, but
I just thought you needed to be a little bit more braver in the final third. I think if one of you had tried to run through or something, that's what I was looking at when I was watching it.
No, I agree. But hey ho.
Great point here to there says, Edu must use our good relations with Brentford. I mean, what is all this?
Good relations.
What is all this? Like, come on.
They're always
Who does Man City have good relations with? Who does Real Madrid have good relations with? Who
exactly.
does Bayern Munich have good relations with?
Exactly.
We don't hear about
You
that.
never hear
crap.
that, do you?
No.
Yeah, you never hear that.
I mean, Kyle, I'm going to ask you this, man. I'm going to ask you this. Brentford, good relations. Okay, fair play. Ivan Toney, he admitted he wanted to come to Arsenal. Look, I don't
Get it
think
done.
he's going to be welcomed that greatly back into the pack at Brentford after what's happened. I think it's going to be a difficult time for him.
You just need to bet on him to win, for you to win games and for you to win a title, and you should be all right.
Kyle, what do you think, mate?
Yeah, this good relations is a lot of crap. It's all down to money. If the money is right, the player will go. And I think that we should put money on the table and get in a player like that. We're crying out for one, James, for years, man. You look at the players that we've gone through in that position throughout the years. Baker, Shamak, you know, the list goes on, and Ketia. You know, Francis Jeffers. Jesus Christ, the amount. Like Bagans. That's all you can say. Bagans. and it's like it's there in front of us all to see what we need. Go and spend the money and buy him. You're able to go out and splash 65 million on a Chelsea reject. Another Chelsea reject, by the way. Mm-hmm. Why not go out and spend the big spondules, bring in the goal scorer that we need, and let's see where we go at the end of the season. Because I'm telling you, sitting here in this room tonight, this Arsenal squad is going nowhere fast. Mm-hmm. Manchester City will have the Premier League won by Christmas. Because we're not, James, we are, this time last season, we were like greyhounds coming out the track there.
Yeah.
We're not on the same level at the moment. And we are going to be found out.
We are. I'm sorry. Mate, that's a good segue because last night, Nketiah, I think he did well. But when you don't have the skill to actually chip the goalkeeper from 5 yards out, that, I'm sorry, is just not the levels of the Premier League. You know, I remember Henry doing it on many occasions. All right. I know we can't compare Eddie Nketiah to Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry was world-class levels and levels above Eddie Nketiah. But the fact that he tried and he hit the post, unlucky. But I'm sorry, in that position, you've got to be slotting those goals away. That is where you win or lose games. If that had been a game last night against Man City, you'd need those 2 goals to get it over the line. And I'm not slating Nketiah at all. But I'm sorry, mate, he's just not the level we need. And I just don't get this, where the club just don't see it. I just don't understand. When Jesus comes back, great player, technically brilliant. I wouldn't say he's world class, right? But at the end of the day, he's not a 20 goal a year striker. He never got in the Man City lineup when they needed him.
Consistently. He wasn't consistently there.
He played
his part, but off the bench.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty much. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry.
Bollocks.
Before this window closes, when is it? End of September? Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, September 1st. Window closes. Yeah.
Oh, September
He's a winger
1st.
for me anyway. Jesus.
September 1st.
Wow, so it's not that far away.
It's in what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 days.
9 days.
Yeah.
Forget about it. No one.
Now is the time to strike. I know I see a lot of people saying, why buy a player we can't play till January? Well, it's a player that will score you in the second part of the season after Chris probably 15 goals.
You know what Ivan Toney solves too? You know for a damn fact, 99 out of 100 times, Ivan Toney in a big moment will slot away his penalties with ease. He is a very good penalty taker. And if you look at last year, I think I brought this up on the last time I was here, but you talk about those big moments. Everybody assumes penalties are easy. They're not. The good players make them look easy. The world-class ones make them look easy. The top strikers, they make it look easy, but it's a pressure moment. It's a pressure moment. And Ivan Toney, time and time again, he just slots his penalties away with ease and consistency. That's also why I said Jonathan David, because his penalty record is very good. Remember in the World Cup for Canada, when Canada were playing, I believe, Belgium, and they were outplaying them, they got a penalty early. And Alphonso Davies took the penalty, the Bayern left back. People were saying at the time, why didn't Jonathan David take it? He has a far better penalty record. What's it called? Alphonso Davies doesn't take penalties. So that just shows you the level of, on a World Cup stage, people were like, yeah, Alphonso Davies, fantastic. He's Canada's best player. But for me, Jonathan David, Toney, those guys are very good at penalties. And I think that's going to be an asset. And Odegaard did take his penalty well. Let's be real. He did take it well.
Oh, it's awesome.
If you have an Ivan Toney, that's again another person in the squad that is very, very good at penalties.
But if he missed that because he took it off Saka, if he'd have actually, like when you take it off somebody else and then you miss, it's like an whole different ball game, isn't it?
Yep, because then you're the one getting the stick because you not only took it off someone, then you screwed up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a risk and reward kind of thing. Yeah,
brilliant penalty, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm going to come to you this one, Kyle. We've got Fulham at home this weekend. We've then got Man United at home, right? And we've then got Everton away. That is always a bloody banana skin for Arsenal. So I think we'll beat Fulham. I actually think we're going to beat Man United because I think they're crap at the moment.
Yeah, they're rubbish.
And so Everton, mate, I think is going to be. We lost last year. We know how Sean
Dyche losing that.
Huh?
Can't see you losing that. At the end of the day, I mean, from last season, I mean, I'd normally say 9 points there, 100%. But even I'm like left thinking, I don't know, because I don't know what he's going to do. But even he don't know what he's going to do. So, I mean, how could I know what he's going to do? So I would say 9 points definitely in them 3 games, but who knows? Because like I say, you don't know whether he's going to go for a Christmas tree formation next week. You don't know what he's going to do.
The thing is,
he might go for the Mighty Ducks. He might go for the Mighty Ducks one where you all quack as you go towards the opposition.
I actually don't see 9 points, Jays. Man United are poor.
Yeah.
But you know, Jays, as well as I know. Man United Arsenal is always a tricky game, no matter where it is. Man United will not be afraid of Arsenal. And they have to play for Ten Hag. Hag is under pressure. Players of Manchester United are under pressure to perform. I'm going to that game, so the better win, because I will smash the place up if they don't. But it's going to be a tough game, Jace. I wouldn't be too confident about who's going to win that game. I'd be expecting Arsenal to beat Fulham. I'd be expecting this to be Fulham. And away at the Everton is always a tough game as well. So I'm not comfortable with 9 points out of those 3 games, to be quite honest. And any time that Man City win, Jace, we have to win. We cannot let City start running off, because if that happens, forget about it.
Yeah, Definitely.
So every game is massive. Every
They
game.
won't bottle it if they get top.
They will not battle us. So I'm predicting for us to win the Premier League this season. I'm predicting to lose about 3, maybe 4 games. That's all we'll be able to afford. And that's a big if. So the pressure is on in every game. But to answer your question, I wouldn't be 100% certain about 9 points out of 9 of those 3 games.
I'm thinking maybe 7. I think Everton, as horrible as Everton are, for some reason they've seemed to get the better out of you guys at Goodison. At the Emirates, you guys I think have done really, really well over the years, but away to Goodison has seemed to have been kind of stumbling ground. But we'll see. I just think nothing is, and that's the problem with Arsenal. The things that are supposed to be gimmies, they're not gimmies anymore. You get the 3 points, but you struggle. You really, really struggle. If that penalty wasn't given last night, that's a 0-0 draw. That's a 0-0 draw. I didn't think you guys were gonna ever score, to be honest.
No, I didn't.
How many clear-cut chances did you guys really create against Crystal Palace? Crystal Palace didn't create anything either. That's why I think it would be a 0-0. And on a different day, like Lee Gunner said last night on the fan cam, Jess, on another day, that Eze incident's a penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree.
It's crazy. So, yeah.
Totally agree, man. The thing is, I mean, Odegaard took that penalty very, very well under pressure. You know what I mean? He's facing the home end at Palace. And, you know, that takes a lot because that lot are right on top of your head. You know, they're easy, they're loud, you know, they're like relentless. They don't shut up for 1 minute. And my concern for the Everton game, right, is Sean Dyche. Right?
Yeah.
He turned Arteta over twice when he was at Burnley. Yeah. And Burnley were absolutely pony.
Yeah.
Absolute pony. But the fact remains, he still turned Arteta over. And the problem I have with this, and I'm going to come to you, Yeti, on that. Right?
Yeah.
Everybody out there in the world can see he's tinkering, what he's trying to do, messing about. And I don't believe that this is like he's trying to put a smoke screen out there. I think it's his pure arrogance. Yeah. I will do what I want to do, and I don't care what anybody says. It's my way or the highway. And that, I'm sorry, is going to cost us big time. I mean, what's your view, man?
Well, I mean, the fact is, from what I can see, he's committing what I would call managerial suicide. He's basically, I mean, he was saying at the end of the season, apparently he's thinking, I'm not good enough for this. I'm thinking of quitting and stuff like that. So surely you don't then come in and start tinkering around and putting players in different spots and all this, that, and the other. Like I say, I mean, I'll be honest, guys, the game I watched last night, you know what you reminded me of? You reminded me of us last season when we was playing away. Apart from you never actually got battered like we did. But, you know, you was lucky in that respect because if Palace was on it a little bit more, I think it could have been a very different story today. But he's trying to put square pegs in round holes, and it don't make any sense. And there's no, I'll tell you what bothers me the most. There's no identity to you now.
Yeah.
Whereas you had that last season. And this season, there's just no identity. You just look like a totally different team. And like Lee Gunner said earlier, it's like he's telling players to do things that they never did last season. So they're actually having to try and retrain a different tactic and all that kind of stuff. That's bloody mental if you got second last season with what you're doing. And you were battering everybody. You was battering everybody. Yeah. Is he tinkering around because of the start you're having and, you know, the teams you're playing? Is it going to change when you go up against Manchester United? I don't know. But personally, like I've said, I'd put Havertz up front where he can just stay up there and, twiddle his thumbs or whatever he does. I mean, because apparently, according to what I've heard all day, he's good off the ball. I mean, and I said, well, if he's good off the ball, just leave him back on. You know what I mean? If that's what he's good at, then just don't put him on the pitch at all. But, it just makes no sense to me. I think that is the key for me to have the exact same team as you had last season, but just have Havertz up front. Because you can still score goals from the midfield and all that kind of stuff if you have the correct personnel in them correct positions.
Yep, totally agree. Totally agree. Kyle, are you on? Are you?
No, I have you there now, Jace.
Yeah. Okay, mate. I think he's just made a great point. I really do. The fact remains.
It happens every now and then. Once a year normally. So that's me done.
This is going to cost us, mate, isn't it? It's going to cost us.
Absolutely, Jace. Absolutely. Like we have to be real about it, Jace. I know we want to be optimistic and we want to shout the lads on and we want them to win and all the rest of it, but we have to be clear about it. We have a manager that's just arrogant. He's way out of his depth. He's not at that standard to take the Arsenal to where we want them to be.
Yeah.
And I suppose there's certain percentage of the fan base that haven't seen what we've seen through the years because of their age and stuff like that. And that's not against those people. We saw Arsenal at the very top. We saw them.
You know what it takes.
And we're still there, right? We're still a massive club. And we want them to succeed. We want the trophies. I'm not saying that we're entitled to it. We have to go out and earn it. But what I'm saying is that I don't see us progressing. I don't see us doing this. Like I'm sitting here today, and I'm telling you that, in my opinion, from what I've seen so far of the Premier League in the 2 games, Man City has the league won by Christmas. It's not.
They're levels above. They're levels above anyone.
They're levels above, and people say De Bruyne is not. Foden comes in. They have the squad. They have the manager.
Foden and Kovacic were unplayable on Saturday.
Absolutely amazing.
Unplayable.
Like Steve, I thought Newcastle was going to give him a game. I honestly thought you could get a result. We get a result against Palace. They might kick us off. But they were nowhere near us. Man City could have won that game. They could have went up another couple of gears. So the answer is, we're going to come unstuck, my friend.
Yeah.
The people in the chat, fans, I've lost friends on Facebook there because they say something negative. They don't like what I say. But what I say comes true.
Snowflakes.
They don't listen to what you actually say.
Today, I'm on Jay's show tonight with the trees. And Jay's, you saw Arsenal all your life as well. And you're sitting there, Jace, and you know as well as I know, this club is not going to win a Premier League this season. It's not going to win a Champions League title either. And what do we do? What does Arteta do? Does he blow the FA Cup and the Carling Cup, or whatever you want to call it? Does he blow those competitions and end up winning nothing again? Or does he actually try to win those 2 domestic cups? Because me and you, Jace, had a conversation on your channel a few weeks ago, and one of those questions that you asked me was your favourite FA Cup final. And I said to you, the 1993 FA Cup final, because we won the double. Why can we not go out and concentrate and win the double? Because we ain't good enough to win the Premier League or the Champions League. Nope. But Arteta is so cocky, he put all his eggs in the one basket, like he did last season, and end up failing once again. And then what do? Do we keep singing the beautiful Arteta or whatever the song is and accept it and go again next season with the same bull, with the same conversations? People need to wake up. People need to realise that what they're saying is right.
Absolutely. I mean, there's some of your fans that was saying, like, with having De Bruyne out at City, they was all giving it this. Oh yeah, we've definitely got it this time. No, I'm not being funny, but on Saturday with Newcastle, basically Pep turned around and said, "Sorry, lads, in the dressing room, we ain't got Kevin De Bruyne for a few months." Phil Foden stood up and he went, "Hold my beer."
Yeah.
He was
I
amazing.
knew we were going to lose, even though Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne were out. I knew we were going to lose still.
Yeah.
I just knew it. I knew we would defend well. The game played out how I thought it would, if I'm honest. I thought Butman and Cher were excellent, to be honest, on for the majority of the game. We handled Haaland well. But it only took one moment. It took one moment for them. Foden to Alvarez. That's something you guys don't have.
Yeah.
Saka isn't on fire.
Yeah.
Martinelli.
Yeah.
There are goals in your team, but it's not the same. It's not the same. Man City are levels above anyone in this league, if I'm honest. I think they win it by 10 plus points.
Haaland, he's a beast.
He hasn't even started yet.
No. Arsenal man, great question here. Give us the positive points from the game, in my eyes. Okay. We discussed the deficiencies quite a bit. Let's pick out a few positives. Declan Rice, I thought was unbelievable.
Oh, good.
Huh? Yeah, I also think Odegaard, who was absolute quality. It was a hard choice for me personally when I did the player ratings with Lee, who I was going to give it to. And I did give it to Declan Rice. I thought he was unplayable yesterday. And if he'd had the support around him, I think there would have been a few goals there. Seriously. Yeah. I don't like the fact that we're shoehorning Havertz in this team. I think there's a reason there. I've said it before, but I'm not going to go it again. But they were two things I took out of that game. This guy, Rice, I think could be an awesome material. I think Saliba, again, had a great contribution. I don't like this messing about the defence. Last season, we had a great defensive setup. White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tierney. What's happened to him, God only knows, I don't know.
Don't any.
It worked well. So don't mess about with it. You've got a line up there that know how to work with each other. They've done it for game on, game on, game on, game on. So stay with it. But the positives, Aston Manic, this Declan Rice man, £105 million class.
Positives for me got to be Havertz and what he does off the ball. I mean, that was just world class. What he does off the ball. What he did at half time, talking to him in the dressing room. Man of the match performance, man. That.
I got a question to ask you, Jace.
Go on, man.
What was all the celebrating about after the game?
Yeah, interesting. We'd won the league by looks of things. I think the thing is, Kyle, it was more of an expression of relief. Oh Christ, we got away with that. We got away with it for a penalty. Therefore, let's go mental about it. And that is a problem, I'm afraid, because that's how we're going to celebrate 1-0 win. I'm sorry, I remember the George Graham days when it was 1-0 to Arsenal. Tony Adams and the ilk and all that lot, they weren't jumping around hugging and kissing. Like shake hands and piss off the pitch. Because they knew they'd got lucky. But George Graham had a way of shutting games down.
Yeah, he did.
He
did it with class then. Same with Rafa Benitez at Newcastle when we got promoted in 16-17. Defensively, very, very solid.
Yeah.
We just knew how to win games with Jose Perez and Solomon Rondon. and a really shite team. But you know, Rafa Benitez, he did a great job for us, to be honest, with Newcastle.
But I just said this about. Sorry, Steve. You want to go ahead, or Steve? Sorry, interrupting you there.
No, go on. I just wanted to say that about like, oh, you know, managers digging in to get results and all that.
Well, we did that. We saw that with George Graham as well. Like Jay's hit on there, and like I'm looking at this team last night celebrating, like we're after winning some kind of Premier League title, like we're after winning some kind of Champions League. Celebrate. 1-0 against Crystal Palace, and we're celebrating from a penalty. And they celebrated there 2 years ago, by the way.
On the title.
Because we thought they were going to get top 4. Where did the celebrations land us? It landed us to nowhere.
Yeah.
So let's calm down with the celebrating. Celebrate and hug each other and give each other a high five and tell each other how good you are when they lift up the silverware. Until then, cut out the celebration.
Yeah, definitely. That says a lot, though, doesn't it, really, when they celebrate like that, because they know they've just got away with one. So, I mean, it's like, you know, I suppose you've got to look at it like that. But, I mean, you've also got that Tony Claude Gunner thing that he posted earlier where Havertz comes out the ground and everyone's going, Havertz, sign me ball. I thought he ain't going to find your ball because he hasn't seen one for 90 minutes, so he's not going to see it. And then somebody offered the shirt. And I said, well, that's a good way to devalue your shirt. I said, why don't anybody ask him, what the hell do you do on that pitch? Because I would have. And he looked miserable as sin.
Yeah.
He's shocking. And I agree with Jace. I heard Jace before, and I agree with Jace that there is actually a player in Havertz. But my outtake on the whole situation is he hasn't got it in where it matters. He hasn't got the heart. He hasn't got the determination. He actually hasn't got the confidence. There's
a player lacking in me as well, Kyle.
There's
I don't know where it is.
And the other thing is, we throughout the years, Jason can confirm this, we've had too many timid players playing for Arsenal. And here's another timid player. We don't need timid players. We need leaders. We need players on the field that's going to give it to them all to win the league title. We don't need to be carrying passengers.
Yeah.
We're against Manchester City. This fella's a passenger.
Yeah. And you know, another thing that worries me, sorry to cut you off, but another thing that worries me is I don't like this. I mean, I don't know if it's happening, but like Jez says, it possibly is. I don't like this where you're guaranteed 10 games or 20 games or something. Because the thing that worries me about that is it guarantees you. So you're not fighting for the shirt. And you should be fighting to get in that shirt, or you're going to turn up to training.
It's comfortable.
20%.
Yeah, it's comfortable, exactly. Yeti. It's too comfortable.
Says a lot, doesn't it, really?
Yeti, Shaka. And we all know what Shaka was, a donkey. Shaka's contract, Jay's be able to confirm this. I think in his contract, he was to play 30-odd games a season. I don't agree with that crap. If you're not performing tomorrow, if you're playing for me, Yeti, tomorrow, and I said to you, Yesi, you're playing tomorrow, and you don't produce the goods from me. Well, me and you are going to have a little chit-chat after the game, and I'm going to be telling you you're sitting on the bench next game.
Yeah, 100%.
I want my players to perform.
100%.
If I go into my job tomorrow morning, and I don't perform, the manager is on my case. And I'm getting pittance.
You don't get any guarantees.
Millionaire football players. If they don't perform, they should be dropped.
Yeah, I won't perform tomorrow though, Kyle. Sorry, mate. I'll be hungover. There's no way I'll
But the thing is, that football has gone too soft. Players have too much power, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
what Clough did. That's what Clough did. If you didn't perform, you weren't in the shirt, and that was it.
Whenever we buy a player from Chelsea, and I know this to be a fact, Willian and Louise had it in their contract. Well, it seems whenever you buy a player from Chelsea, they have to seem to play a certain amount of games, hours, minutes, whatever it happens to be. It's bollocks,
major red flag for me. That is major red flag.
It is. If I'm buying Eddie Arteta, right? Yeah, I'm not going to lay down to terms from another club. I'm going to say, no. He wants to play for us. These are our players. This is how we are playing, right?
If I was Emil Smith Rowe, I would F off, honestly.
Oh yeah, 100%.
If someone's guaranteed to play and they're complete crap and they're awful, leave.
Yeah.
You're not going to try hard, are you? You're going to get your 300 grand a week anyway, and you're going to think, all right, I'll put a shirt on, I'll run around a bit, but I'm not going to give it 100%. Right? I mean, we had that with Ozil. Yeah, he was getting his 350 grand a week. He didn't bother giving up. So it is. I mean, we've got Man City. We've got Man City in 5 weeks, and we've got to step up because of this shit bloody lineup we've got. Yeah, they will actually fight us. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And let me Arteta 5 chess for no reason.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
We had a great starting lineup last season. We were taking play, we were tearing teams apart.
Yeah.
Now it's just like we're fluking it. We did it against Nottingham Forest. We did it against Crystal Palace, and
we could have won that.
You could have won it. I have to say, you could have won it. To be fair. But I'm not having
what it is.
By the way, guess who Crystal Palace have next? They're away at Brentford. I guarantee you right now, Brentford win that game comfortably by at least 2 goals.
100%.
I guarantee it. Palace might give them a good game, but I know I'll see more out of Brentford than I did against you guys. I know it's away versus at Selhurst Park, but the fact that I have more faith in Brentford given a 90-minute complete performance over Arsenal, that's why I do not have you guys winning the Premier League. I just don't.
Steve, I got a quick one for you there. Now that you said it there. And Jay's, yes, you might be answering. This question to the three is really, you just said about an away game. Really, are the away games really? How many years have Arsenal been going to Crystal Palace? Like, you become, I know there's different players now, but you do become familiarized, and it is a football thing. Yeah. And like I'm a coach. I drive buses, so I get into a 55-seater bus tonight, and tomorrow I get into a different 55-seater. But you get used to it. I'm sure these players get used to the pitch size. It's football at the end of the day, lads. It's a football feed. Go perform.
I think it's another one of them excuse things, like when you lose in the cup and you go, oh, well, it was only the cup. And it's like, oh, well, it was away. So, I mean, if you're away, the home fans are going to have the premise and the home team's going to have the premise. So I suppose you got to look at it. I think it's just one of them excuse things. It's away from home, so we're going to struggle here. But, I mean, just get back on something I said before about I'm not passing to Havertz. I've been thinking about this today. Are the players actually with him? Because at the end of the day, he's on the most money. He does the least work.
Yeah.
So do they actually like him anyway, which is going to hurt your team again?
I think that's a great point, mate. Absolute spot on. Do the players actually want him there? I think this is an interesting thing now. If Arteta was to be sacked tomorrow, what top clubs would be interested?
I think the highest end club that he could get to is Sevilla. I think that's about as high. Yeah, and I don't even. I'm not even sure that.
Real Betis say no.
Real Betis have Pellegrini. I don't think they'd sack Pellegrini for Arteta. I don't think so.
I think he'd end up in Saudi Arabia, personally.
Possibly.
Well, yeah. That might be what he's working towards.
I think so.
I guess his payoff.
I think he goes to Spain. I think he goes to Spain.
He wouldn't get taken up by another Premiership team.
No, I don't think so.
I think
if he gets released, he gets a payoff, doesn't he?
Maybe Rangers, maybe because he used to play. I don't know. I wouldn't want him at Rangers anyways. That's the crazy part. I would not want him.
Yeah, but see what we're talking about top clubs now. Rangers.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's why I
he
said
might get in my local team, Baseford Town. They might have him as a manager.
Look, I don't care where he goes once he goes because he ain't good enough for this club.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't care about other clubs. I care about this club. If he goes, he goes. And he should go. If he fails this season, he has to go. But he won't because he can fail for the next 10 years and this fan base loves him, so we keep him. Because we don't need to win anything.
Spaniard and all that.
Unbelievable, shocking stuff.
Another comment
it is
here. Not only Havertz, Partey has been shifted right back to accommodate Rice.
And Gabriel's on the bench. Gabriel is on the bench.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact of this is totally rotten setup, personally. I like Declan Rice. I think he's absolute class. I really do. And I think he's going to help the club. I do not like this bloody awful defence. But I'll tell you what, as we go into that season, we'll be up against the big boys, Chelsea, Man United, Man City, Tottenham, right? And Liverpool. Yeah, they're going to work that way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Rice has probably rang West Ham after the game last night.
Yeah.
Can I come back? All is forgiven.
Yeah.
James, question for you, James. Would you give the armband to Declan Rice? Because I would.
I would, all day.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he's absolute class.
Why is he not doing that? The question is, why has Arteta not done that? If he was the top manager, that's the first thing he would have done.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got an AFC.
With fake fans, mate.
Yeah, mate. If you can tell me, well, you've been to as many games as I have and seen what I've seen win. Then we have a discussion about it. But until that time, mate, you don't know shit.
Can I just say, AFT mod, if you know Julian, yeah, next time you see him, can you get him to do that Benny Hill thing where someone keeps slapping him on the head while he's running away?
I'd slap him on the head. I'd slap him straight in the face. But at the end of the day, we always get these clowns. I'm pretty certain I know who that is anyway.
Oh yeah. Oh, I haven't. I think we all know.
Yeah.
Hello, Peter. Hello, Peter. Yeah. How's the homelessness going?
It's typical of that sort of ilk of supporter. They just like to hate, and I don't care, mate, because at least you've come and watched, and it helps the traction.
Where's he getting his Wi-Fi from if he's homeless?
Sorry?
Where's he getting his Wi-Fi from if he's homeless?
Starbucks.
Taco Bell. Outside McDonald's.
McDonald's, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, to wrap it up, I want to go round. Steve, mate, shout your socials out, please, sir.
Yeah, so you can find me on Strasbourg Steve. I'm going live in 5 minutes to watch Rangers PSV Eindhoven UEFA Champions League playoff.
Oh, the Gers.
Yeah, up the fucking Gers, absolutely. No, but yeah, we got them in a rematch against PSV. We're probably going to get smashed, to be honest, because PSV have been very good in the 3 or 4 games I've watched. But hey, I just like doing watch alongs. So I know there's some Irish gunners in the chat who don't like Rangers. Hey, it is what it is. I walked into it.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
Just to say this to you, Rangers, right? Celtic the same. Scottish football the same. Load of bollocks. The competition up there is third. They're terrible clubs. I know their history and all that fucking shit, but they're...
You know what? The one thing I will give Scottish football, though? It's more old school. Like when I hear people talk about old school football and talking about guys that aren't getting paid $1 million and all this stuff, like there's some heart and soul to it. The quality ain't great. I'll admit that. But I will say the guys, teams get stuck in. Teams are competitive in terms of they might get smashed, but they give everything. There is some drama, obviously, but there is something about Scottish football where it's like fast food. It's like fast food. It's cheap, cheerful, and yeah, why not?
You keep watching it, Steve. You keep watching it, my friend. You're welcome to us.
Yeah, I'll watch anything, man.
Arsenal manager
It could be worse, Steve. You could watch Arsenal versus Crystal Palace.
No, that
Oh,
I'd absolutely ruin him, Julian. I'd absolutely fucking ruin him.
Oh, get him on. Get him on.
doesn't take much.
Yeti, mate. Thanks for being here. You're always a real one.
worries,
Shout it out, man. Shout it out.
Right, okay, so thanks for having me on, Jez, absolute legend. Strasbourg, Steve, always a legend. And Carl, great to be on with you, mate. First time I've actually been on with you, so you're an absolute legend as well. Love your reviews as well. You've very much got the same opinion as what I have on most films. It's long-eared Yeti's Cave. Basically, all Forest. You know, we just signed Montiel. I'm also
What a player! What a player!
Yeah, I'm also supposed to be on with Nuruddin middle of the week or something for the Forest preview against Man
United Real Therapy. I like him.
Yeah,
good guy.
So that's going to be interesting. So just drop over to the channel, drop me a sub. Make sure you drop all these guys a sub and a like and everything on the video, because we're all real ones. We don't talk shit. If you wanna give it, get on cam. Let's have it, because you won't win.
Yeah, let's chat. Absolutely.
Win. Let's do it, man. Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
That's the thing, though, mate. They never do, because you get these people that give it all the big bollocks behind the scenes, but they haven't got the bollocks to actually come and say it to your face. I've been told there's one guy that comes in, Adrian Edward comes in every now and again. Don't ever come to the Emirates Chairs. You'll be beaten up, this, that, and the other. Yeah, okay, mate. Apart from like probably 250 people I know that actually live down there, I don't think that will ever happen. You know what I mean?
More scared of a spider than you prick.
Yeah, I tell you what, absolutely. It's still in here, so it'll be out later. It's getting dark. I will find it. Kyle, shout yourself out, man. I heard on Del Boys last night there's something new coming up out with you.
Yeah, so James, first of all, big up to you, James, for having me on your show. It's always an honor to be on the screen with a legend like yourself. And Steve, always a pleasure, the European expert. And big up Yeti. Really good being on the show with Yeti. You're read one, a legend, and I love talking to you about the movies as well. So I'll be on to you more often, my friend. But I'd just like to say you'll find me on Kai Walsh Gunner. And I am what I am. I say what I say. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But at least I stay read. And I just want what's best for my club. And yes, Jace, you're spot on, my friend. I am on with Del Boy. We are trying to get me set up so I can start doing a live show once a week. As I said, you might have heard me saying it, Jace. I was saying to Del Boy that there's himself, there's Jace Collins, there's TJ, and a few others that do their own shows, and I would never interfere with any of them shows. So I'm trying to find a gap between all your schedules that I can fit one in and invite all you legends onto my show as well. Because I think the more shows on the platform, the better it is for everyone. So yeah, so my one might be a bit heavy and raw, but sure, listen, it is what it is. The volcano might erupt every now and again, but sure, it is what it is. So I'm looking forward to it and inviting all you guys on it. It's a pleasure to be in this community. I love this community. You're all part of my family anyway, and I always do be thinking about you all the time. So you're with me the whole time. So fair play to you. And all the chat as well. Big up to you all.
Thank you.
Big up the chat, apart from the twats that are coming in now.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Dickheads.
Steve, look, fella, if you want to come on and face me out on camera, you're more than welcome. I know you won't, because you're just
that ain't happening.
You got the knobhead Teddy Daniels as well. You've been drinking the Jack Daniels again, Teddy, because you're talking utter shit.
They're the last wipe. I think it's probably the same person under different accounts. Quickly ask this question. Arsenal since 87. When is the next quiz night? It's going to be in 2 weeks' time. I've given a heads up to Anthony, Kyle, and to Kenny. It is everything Arsenal this show. It's Arsenal back in time. It's what it's going to be called, and it goes back to day one, 1886, Dial Square, all that stuff. So that's why I've given people a lot of time to do their homework and do their research. So there's going to be some banging questions in there, boys. So get on it.
Can't wait.
Read your books. Get on
Can't
Google.
wait.
Get on Google. Have a look. Kenny Daniel says Wynn has already proved a shrewd signing. You can handle the pressure as was proved yesterday with the biased ref. Arteta's legend. No legend to me. No legend to me.
James, just like to say, James, for this quiz thing, there's only one thing I'm going to be doing. That's looking back on your old shows, all the history ones that you've done.
Yep.
You learn everything you need to know on their side of it.
Yeah.
We know who this person is.
Balland.
Statue outside the ground one day, I guarantee. Yeah, I think
might be outside LD or something like that.
I don't think so, mate. It might be made out of plasticine by you because you're an absolute clown. Thank you.
What a waste of stone that'd be.
You know what I mean? Oh dear God, that's so funny. I mean, I love these guys. I just love them.
There should be one more statue outside that ground, Chase, and you know it as well as I know it. And that's George Graham. He should be outside that stadium.
Definitely.
Let's be honest, like Lee, if you saw Mikel in real life, you would be begging for his autograph. Fella, I met Mikel Arteta when he was a player, right? And I didn't ask for his autograph, and I totally fucking ignored him because he was an absolute clown as a player and he's a clown as a manager. So no, I wouldn't be asking for his autograph. I'd actually tell him to fuck off. But there we go. Never mind. We move on. I'll do the outro, guys, and then we are out of here.
Yeah.